Okay, today we're going to run through the Spark table section. Not trying to cover all aspects of the Spark tables, just a few basics, and just show you what they do. Now I want to remind you that when you modify your Spark tables, you need to exercise extreme caution. A lot of people think you need too much spark and they overspark their motor, overtime their motor. Start out with less and add it in until the car stops picking up power, and then take it back a little bit.
Okay, piggybacking off my first video on timing, I wanted to show you guys how to adjust the borderline tables. So in this example, I've got an Excel spreadsheet made up. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And let's say that we did a data log, and we did a wide open throttle pull. And in our data log, we logged all these map points, and we found out that map point 0 was used 25%, map point 5 was used 25%, map point 11 was used 15%, and map point OP was used 35%. All those total 100% usage. So when we get over to our borderline table in the VCM editor, we're going to only add timing if the load is 0.75 or greater. So I'm showing that here. That's just a static value for this example. And then we're going to add timing from 5,000 RPMs up. So the basic math I'm using for this, and this is just another static example here. So we've got the 8 degrees timing, or desired, total. We've got 8. And then we've got our factor here, a weight value of 25% for that map point. That equals 2 degrees that we need to add to that map point. Ignore the static section over here. This little table I just made it so it do all the calculations for me. Now we'll revert it back to 8 degrees. Okay, so we'll add our 8 degrees, and now we're going to go to these individual tables, and we'll add what the calculator the values calculator shows here. I'm going to close this. We'll open up the VCM editor. All right, so we've got the VCM editor open. I'm going to go to the engine tab, and then we're going to go to the Spark tab here, and then we'll go over here to our borderline Spark values. As shown in the Excel sheet, we want to add 8 degrees of total timing. We'll go over here, we'll open up map point 0, we'll start there. I've got the table over here on the left and the 3D graph on the right. The split view right here, this vertical split, turns that view on. And then no split is just the table. Vertical split, you get both. Okay, so we wanted to add 2 degrees of timing. So we're going to left click, we'll highlight the values we want. And we're including 75 to 110 load. And we type in 2 right there, hit the plus button. Now watch the 3D graph. You see it come up right there. Okay, so you see the sharp rise here. I usually like to smooth those out. So you can left click, highlight those tabs again, and then you can hit the smooth between horizontal boundaries. You can also smooth between vertical boundaries, like that, or you can smooth large sections at a time, for example, like so. Okay, so let's move on to our next map point, map point 5. In our theoretical log, it carried a weight of 25%. And we will also add 2 degrees of timing to it. So highlight, type in 2, add your values, smooth them out. Okay, that's all there is to it. Now we'll go over here to map point 11. It had 15% usage, and we are going to add 1.2 degrees of timing. All right, left click, drag and highlight, 1.2 degrees. Hit the plus button, and there you have it. Okay, and now last, in our calculator, we showed 35% on OP, which is your optimum power table, and it needs 2.8 degrees of timing for the calculator. So I'm just going to left click, drag, 2.8 degrees, hit the plus button, there we go. Probably going to smooth that out a little bit too. There we go. Sweet. Okay, that's how you adjust your borderline spark tables. Very straightforward, very simple. So here we go. Here's the global spark section right there. It's engine, spark, advance, right there on your right-hand side. So the beautiful thing about this, let's say you're dialing in your fuel trims. You want to make sure that everything's safe. You're not overtiming the motor. You can say, okay, we're just going to knock out 6 degrees right off the top of everything. Now the global spark adjusts the final output value. If your final output is 25 degrees, you hit -6 in there, your final output's now going to be 19. And then you can apply it. Then you can work on dialing in your fuel trims or whatever else you're trying to dial in to get everything in order.